What were some ways you transformed it?
So for sophomore year specifically, there was a class that I did not particularly like in the beginning called World History. And the reason why I didn't like it was because it was called World History, but we didn't talk about people who were a part of this so-called world history definition. And we only talked about, conquest in Europe. We talked about Christopher Columbus without end. We constantly talked about how these people would conquer unsuspecting lands, and then, things that didn't come to my mind when I thought of world history, because I'm Nigerian American, and we didn't talk about Nigeria for a single second. We didn't talk about Argentina. We didn't talk about Japan. We didn't talk about countries in the world. And so I realized that a lot of the courses in my high school had this kind of almost like clickbait. I don't know if you're familiar with clickbait, but
I am.
These titles that made it seem like this is what we were going to get, but it wasn't that at all. Almost like with high school as well. Like when I think of high school, there's so many different things that you come out of it, like exploration, discovery, collaboration, but that's oftentimes not what you get. So I was in that classroom, I was thinking to myself, I have to learn how to hack this subject, because I wanted to take AP World History the next year, but I failed in the first test. I got a 59, I'm pretty sure. And seeing that, I realized that this is not the way that I understand the information. This is not the way I want the subject to go. And how can I bounce back from this 59 that I literally got on the first week of this test? And how can I learn to like world history despite the fact that it's not what I think that it is? And so in the book, I actually talk about this. And what I ended up doing was looking at the different people that we were studying as kind of persons of interest, like a journalist. And that doesn't work for everyone, but it worked for me, where I was looking at the different people that we were studying, like a journalist was trying to get all the information from them, using source cards and whatnot, getting deeper research. And that's what ended up working for me, as well as, building a deeper relationship with my teacher, actively participating, and then talking with my peers and classmates. But that's not what's going to work for everybody else. And so when I realized that—
Wait, pause for 1 second, because you said some really great things in there, and I want to just capture them. You said, I think, 3 things. You said building a better relationship with your teacher, talking to your peers, and then I think you said something practical, like flashcards. Is that right?
Yeah, so almost like persons of interest cards, like trying to make it more experiential.
For yourself.
For myself, yes.
So you took a subject that you weren't super engaged with,
Mm-hmm.
and you tried to deepen and enhance your learning using these 3 tools.
Yes.
But that doesn't change the subject, right? It just changes your relationship to the subject.
Mm-hmm.
So how did you dig deeper and wrap your brain? I know so many students struggle with I'm not interested. This information isn't interesting to me. It's not engaging. So I think it's fundamental what you said, like the relationship piece, building relationship with your professors and teachers, speaking to your peers, and these great tips and tools like flashcards and whatnot. Those are great, but still you're left with the same content. Mm-hmm. So how did you overcome that piece? The pieces that didn't speak to you?
Yeah, so I think the way that I saw it was, I want to change the education system, but I can't change the fact that this is a class I have to take. So I had to first understand that this is something I have to work through, and it's something that I have to deal with for the next 9 months. How can I make this the best 9 months of my life? Mm-hmm. So that was kind of the mindset that I went into. And when I started to change my mindset about the subject, I actually started to like it a little bit more. And by the end of the year, it was actually my favorite class. And there has yet to be a class that topped that class.
That's so interesting. Really?
Yeah, there has yet to be a class that topped it.
Wow, that's great. So your advice to others who are struggling is change your mind. You change your mind, you change your relationship to it, you could change your experience of it. Mm-hmm. I think that's so important, not just in school, but in life, right? Mm-hmm. I imagine you apply that same mindset to other areas of your life.
Oh, for sure, because I take physics this year, and it was interesting, to say the least.
Did you do the same thing?
I think I did. It was much more hands-on and thinking about the world aspect, so I was able to make that class a lot more practical for my experience.
Yeah,